Hey guys, it's Viejo here, and it is the third week of May in 2025. Beautiful day here on the central coast of California, as you might have suspected, right? We get good weather around these parts of the country. Anyway, today I want to give you a quick little update on this Pietta slash Cimarron Pistolero, okay? Single action Army style action. I did a report on this when I first got it a couple of years ago, and I'm going to put a link to that initial video that I did with this down in the description box, and you can go click on that and it will take you to that video, and you can get all the measurements and stuff that I took at that time. But again, it was a couple years ago, and I've got just a little over 1,000 rounds through this pistol right now, so I thought I'd give you an update and let you know how it's doing as far as holding up. And it's doing fine. And the only thing that's different now is I like it more now than I did when I first got it. I really have enjoyed this pistol. Okay, 4 3/4 inch barrel, weighs about 2.5 pounds. Single action, of course. Color case, hardened frame. The bluing is not quite as deep as on other revolvers that I've had. And when I go to the range, this is in a case that's kind of tight fitting, not leather, but it's fabric for protection. And I can see little bits of wear. Okay, but for the most part, the bluing is holding up. The brass parts have developed a nice antique-y looking patina to it. And you know, a guy could go in there and polish that out, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, I like the way it looks. The stocks have held up really well. No splits, cracks, or scuffs, anything like that. I've taken pretty good care of it. And I've shot it with probably mostly 38 special. Okay. In fact, I just did a little short video here last week shooting some steel with it. I'll run a little quiet clip up there. And I've shot 357. Okay, through it. It handles it all just fine. Okay. You know, nothing has happened to it. The sights haven't fallen off. I haven't broken anything on it. Okay, it just continues to operate as it should. The action is smoothed up a little bit. The trigger pull hasn't changed much, if at all. It's just a little over 4 pounds in the single action pull. Of course, that's all there is, right? It's not a double action revolver, but it's a nice crisp trigger pull. And before we go too far in handling, let's demonstrate here that we are clear. Okay, there's no ammo on the bench, and the firearm is unloaded and safe to handle. But the action is just not, you know, nice, crisp, easy, not sloppy at all. Okay, it's just has been a real enjoyable pistol to get out and shoot. There are a couple things that I've noticed that I want to mention, and they're not flaws or defects or anything, just a couple things that you got to pay attention to. I'm going to put this down here and bring you in close. Hang on. Okay, the first thing is about the base pin. All right, this guy, we talked about it in the initial video that I did. There's a second position where the base pin goes in further and locks, okay, in place with what Pietta calls a manual safety screw, and it's not really a screw at all. It was kind of like a Chicago screw. Okay, it's threaded on the other side, but that thing locks in farther and will prevent the hammer from going all the way forward. But if you don't put this pin in correctly, it can start walking out on you under fire, and that's not a good situation to have. It actually did happen to me once, and I hadn't paid close enough attention to how I install that. So let's go in even a little tighter and take a look at what I'm talking about. And when you're reinstalling your base pin here, you want to be sure that it clicks in, and you should see the pin pop back out. Hear that? And we can see that our safety screw, as Pietta calls it, has popped out. If you don't do that, Okay, our base pin's not going to be stable in there, and it will work its way out of there. Okay, it can also do that if you don't have these two grooves lined up so that they're pointed straight down. Okay, as you look at the bottom of the barrel. Okay, if they're turned off to one side or the other, the safety screw here won't engage, and again that thing will start rocking and rolling in there and work its way out. If you're struggling and it's a little tight, you can use our extractor rod to help push that down in, especially if you're just beginning to install your base pin and the end of its way out here and you can't get your finger up. Push it in like this. Okay, but I'm just going to do it with my hands here now and listen for the click there, and we see our pin pop out. Okay. Okay, the next thing then that you want to pay attention to is the screws. Okay, and we got 3 here, we got 3 here, 1 here. Okay, you got 2 back here. Okay, and then there's 1 more. I'm going to turn the firearm over here to show you. Okay, right here, that guy. Okay, we want to check that one periodically too, the shroud, okay, over our extractor rod. Okay. Those should all be checked, and it's worthwhile checking our manual safety screw. I hate that term, but that's what Pietta calls it. Okay, it's slotted on both sides, and so you need 2 screwdrivers, and just kind of make sure that it's snug so that they don't separate. It's kind of like a Chicago screw sort of. Okay, and those screws will work loose under fire. I'm always reluctant to over tighten things like this. I don't like to see the hardware get all messed up, trying to come in here and unfasten when it's time to do a complete tear down if these guys are too tight. Be sure you use a nice Armorer's style hollow ground screwdriver, the proper size for these so you don't mess them up. I guess you could use something like this Vibratite. Okay, it's not as strong of a hold as Loctite would be, but even then I don't find that necessary. It's not that big a deal, to just check these real quickly. It takes 10 seconds to go around the horn there. My MO when I come home from the range, clean the gun up, and I just automatically check all of those and make sure they're tight. And 50% of the time, 1 or more of these has loosened up a little bit after 100 rounds or so at the range. I do keep a record of all the rounds that I fire through each of my firearms. Okay, I got a bunch of them in here. Okay, so you can add those up, and we're just over 1,000 rounds. First shots, boy, it's been longer than I thought. Okay, November of 2022, put the first 100 rounds through there. Okay, and the last time I shot it was last week. Okay, when we put 56 rounds through. All right, there we are with those things. Other than that, man, there's just nothing. All I can say has been a real joy for me to own this thing. I have not regretted a penny that I spent on this, and it wasn't all that expensive of a firearm either. And they're readily available. If you are interested in all of the other measurements, trigger pull, all lot of kind of stuff, dimensions and stuff, go check out that original video that's linked in the description box, and I've got answers to all your questions there. I don't really have anything else to say. I almost wish something had gone wrong so I'd have something to tell you about, but I don't. It's just performed flawlessly in the 2 years that I've had it, and again, just over 1,000 rounds into it right now. No issues whatsoever. It's one of my go-to revolvers to go shoot, whether I'm going to shoot magnums or wad cutters, whatever. Okay, it can handle a job. All right, I think that's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed that and got something out of it. But from the Viejo bench, for now, that's all she wrote.